Well, good morning. Good morning. This is Coffee with Carol. And today I want to talk about patience because I don't think we always have enough, right? They say patience is a virtue, but I think it's more of a challenge for me anyway, especially if I'm tired. When you're dealing with small children, right? Or you're waiting for that call, either from, the doctor's office to give you some results on a test, or you're waiting for a call back from that interview that you just did. Or if you maybe have some elderly parents or grandparents or people in your life that need a little extra TLC, patience can be pretty difficult. Remember that everyone has their own set of challenges, right? Remember that each person is going through their own journey, and we are all very self-centered. And I had an experience the other day that was pretty much a perfect example of this. So I went to the store, I picked up some water, some milk, some other things, and I put them in the back of my vehicle. Now I had been out earlier doing a training, and I had some extra things in there. So I had the back seat flipped forward so I would have more space. Anyway, I didn't pull the seat back up, and I just put everything in the back of the vehicle. And as we're coming home, the light turned red, and I slowed down to stop for the light. But as I slowed down, all of the groceries started to move forward. Now, if the seat had been up, they would have stopped, right? But because the seat was down, they built up some momentum and the water and the milk just came flying through to the back seat. Not too fast or anything like that, but it did come through. And unfortunately, it hit something, and both a gallon of water and the gallon of milk were bust open. I didn't realize it until I'd gotten home and was getting out the groceries and saw, oh my gosh, the water is leaking all over the place, and so is the milk. So I was frustrated. I was like, oh, and I didn't have very much patience with that. I was like, I got to do this, and I got to do that, and I got to do the other thing, and I don't know if I'm going to get all this done. And of course, my mom gets out, and she's doing her thing, and she takes the groceries into the kitchen, and I'm thinking to myself, boy, not even helping me. Boy, look at this mess, and I got to clean this up. And I'm thinking all of this to myself. And then at that moment, my husband comes home, just comes right into the garage, backs right in where I was trying to clean up the mess on the garage floor. And he just comes right in, and I'm thinking, can't you see that I'm dealing with all this? And can't you just pay attention to what I need right now? And so when he got out of his car, instead of our usual greeting of, oh, I'm so glad you're home, and a big hug and a kiss and everything, I sort of just said, hey, how you doing? Yeah, I got a mess here. I'm just trying to clean up. And I sort of was a little bit standoffish. I realized right away that, and thankfully I did, that really wasn't how I wanted to respond or how I wanted to react when he got home. And so I followed him into the bedroom, and I said, I'm really sorry. I said, I was preoccupied with the mess, and I didn't give you a proper hello. And I want to just do that. So, hello, I'm so glad you're home. Let's start over. I kind of had a do-over, right? And at that moment, he sighs. And he says, yeah, I'm really glad to be home today. And I said, why? What's the matter? And he proceeded to tell me that he had had a very close call with an 18-wheeler just minutes before, who didn't stop and had turned right in front of him and he had to come to a screeching stop in order to avoid being hit. I thought to myself, wow, how silly of me to be worried about a little mess when my husband could have been in a much worse situation. Patience is so important. Patience is so important because it leads to an abundance of understanding. But impatience leads to some stupid mistakes, and that's Proverbs 14:29. Patience leads to abundance of understanding, but impatience leads to stupid mistakes. And I could have really messed things up there. Being so upset about that, being so upset about the mess that had been made in my vehicle, and not focusing on my husband. So what do we do? What do we do, in our lives? When we had those little kids and they're making a mess, and we clean up, and then they make another mess, and then we clean up, and then they're dropping cookies all over the place, and they're putting their dirty hands on the furniture, and we've got to clean that, and we've got to do the other thing, and it's just building up, right? Or the parent who never seems to hear or remember what you said, or waiting for that news about your health, right? All of that in the big picture, in the big scheme of things, is really just a little bit of spilled milk. And we shouldn't let it take away from our patience or our peace, right? The toys and the dirt, that's really not hurting anyone. The words, well, they can be repeated as many times as necessary. The news that you're waiting for, it's not going to change by you losing your patience. It's not going to change when it comes or how it comes, right? So we have to let it go. We have to focus on building other people up, staying aware of the needs of others, right? So when you're in that situation with your kids, when you start to feel the tension sort of bubbling up, go hug them. Hug them instead of losing your patience. Get silly with them. Make more of a mess if you want to. If they dropped a little bit of milk on the floor, pour the whole thing and just laugh at it. And then clean it up together. Pause and remember that it takes no effort to repeat words. Be thankful that your parent is with you to have a conversation. Hug them when you're feeling frustrated and let the frustration go. Waiting for that call, from the job interview or from the doctor visit, just pray. Pray instead and visualize and think about the outcome that you want. And then go find someone to serve. Go find someone that can take your mind off of you. And keep breathing in and out. Let God do the how, and you do the do. Make it a great day.